Across the vast, dark emptiness of space, there are worlds unlike our own. They are scattered among the stars. These are not rocky planets like Mars. They are not gas giants like Jupiter. They are something else entirely. We call them Hycean worlds. They are planets covered by deep, global oceans. Their skies are not blue, but thick with hydrogen. For a long time, we believed life could not exist in such places. We thought the conditions were just too extreme. But the universe is full of surprises. It often shows us that life is more resilient than we could ever imagine. What if these alien oceans are not empty? What if they are home to life? Imagine a planet where water stretches from pole to pole. There are no continents to break the endless waves. The only land might be small volcanic islands, temporary and fleeting. The pressure at the bottom of these oceans is immense. It is far greater than anything we experience on Earth. The light from their distant suns struggles to pierce the thick atmosphere. It travels even further to reach the ocean floor. Yet in this strange and challenging environment, something remarkable could be happening. Life may have found a way. It may have adapted to the crushing pressures and the dim light. It could be thriving in the darkness. These worlds are a new frontier in our search for life. They are a new kind of habitable planet. They are larger than Earth and covered in water. Their hydrogen-rich atmospheres act like a warm blanket. This blanket keeps the oceans from freezing, even far from their stars. This creates a vast zone where life could potentially arise. We are only just beginning to understand these planets. We are just starting to imagine the possibilities they hold. The idea of an ocean world, teeming with creatures we have never dreamed of, is truly breathtaking. It pushes the boundaries of what we consider possible. Our journey into understanding Hycean worlds is a journey into the unknown. It is a quest to find a second Genesis, another place where life began. As our telescopes peer deeper into the cosmos, they reveal more of these mysterious water worlds. Each new discovery brings us closer to answering the ultimate question: are we alone? And with each glimpse, the possibility of finding not just simple microbes, but complex ecosystems and perhaps even civilizations becomes more real. The story of Hycean worlds is the story of hope. It is a story of an endless search for life in the great cosmic ocean. The environment of a Hycean world is truly alien. The air itself is different. Instead of the nitrogen and oxygen we breathe, the atmosphere is a thick soup of hydrogen, helium, and water vapor. This dense air creates incredible pressure. It would feel heavy, a constant presence pushing down. The sky would not be a familiar blue. It might be a pale yellow or a soft orange, glowing from the light of a distant star. Storms here would be unlike anything on Earth. Massive hurricanes, driven by the planet's rotation and temperature differences, could rage for centuries across the endless ocean. Beneath this strange sky lies the ocean. It is a global sea, deeper than any on our own planet. The water is not just on the surface, it is the world itself. The pressure increases dramatically as you descend. In the upper layers, sunlight might create a dimly lit zone. Here, life could use photosynthesis, just as plants do on Earth. But deeper down, there is only darkness. The pressure is so immense that it can crush the strongest steel. It is a place of eternal night, where the only light comes from volcanic vents on the ocean floor, or from living creatures themselves. Life here must be incredibly resilient. Organisms would need to adapt to the crushing weight of the water above them. They might have soft, flexible bodies without bones, or they could have incredibly strong exoskeletons to withstand the pressure. They would also need to find energy in the darkness. Perhaps they gather around hydrothermal vents. These are cracks in the planet's crust that release heat and chemicals from the interior. These vents could become oases of life, supporting entire ecosystems in the cold, dark depths. This is where the building blocks of life could come together. The resources of a Hycean world are tied to its unique geology and chemistry. The ocean would be rich in dissolved minerals. These minerals would be essential for any life that exists there. The volcanic activity on the seafloor would constantly replenish these nutrients. This creates a cycle of energy and resources that could sustain life for billions of years. The hydrogen in the atmosphere could even be a source of energy for certain types of microbes. In this world of water and hydrogen, life would not just survive. It could flourish in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. Let us imagine that on one such world, life did not remain simple. It evolved. It became complex, intelligent, and self-aware. Over millennia, great civilizations could have risen from the depths. They would be kingdoms of the ocean, built by beings perfectly adapted to their watery home. These people might have sleek, streamlined bodies to move gracefully through the currents. They might have large eyes to capture the faintest glimmers of light. Their cities would not be built of stone and wood, but perhaps from hardened coral, volcanic rock, or materials we cannot yet imagine. In the heart of these kingdoms, grand castles could rise from the seabed. They would be towering structures sculpted by generations of builders. Their walls might be decorated with shimmering shells and bioluminescent fungi that cast a gentle, eternal glow. Within these castles, royal dynasties could have ruled for thousands of years. Kings and queens, adorned with jewels made from deep-sea pearls and polished obsidian, would govern their vast underwater domains. Their power would come not from land, but from their control of the ocean currents, the richest hydrothermal vents, and the loyalty of their subjects. The warriors of these kingdoms would be a formidable sight. They would be guardians of the deep, trained to defend their cities from giant predators or rival kingdoms. Their armor might be crafted from the tough hides of sea monsters. Their weapons could be tridents forged from volcanic metals, sharp enough to pierce the thickest scales. They would not ride horses, but perhaps trained massive sea creatures, moving swiftly and silently through the dark waters. These warriors would be masters of their environment. They would know every cavern, every current, and every secret of the abyss. And alongside the rulers and warriors, there would be scholars. They would be the keepers of knowledge. In vast, dusty libraries carved into underwater mountainsides, they would study the history of their people. Their books would not be made of paper, which would dissolve in the water. They might be intricate tablets of stone or metal, etched with the stories of their ancestors. These scholars would be the astronomers, the philosophers, and the scientists of the deep. They would map the stars visible through the thick atmosphere and seek to understand the very nature of their watery universe. Imagine, if you will, the bustling life within a Hycean city. The streets would not be paved roads, but instead carefully managed water currents that flow between buildings. Citizens would swim through these liquid avenues, their movements elegant and effortless. The city would be alive with a constant, gentle hum of activity. Marketplaces would be vibrant hubs of trade. Here, Merchants would display their goods, glowing pearls, rare minerals from the deepest trenches, and exotic foods harvested from strange sea gardens. The air, or rather the water, would be filled with the sounds of communication, perhaps a complex language of clicks, whistles, and shimmering light patterns. At the center of the city, a great temple might stand. It would be a place of worship and contemplation, its spires reaching towards the faint light above. The temple would be illuminated from within by colonies of bioluminescent organisms, creating a breathtaking cathedral of light in the eternal darkness. Inside, priests and priestesses would perform ancient rituals. They might offer thanks to the ocean for its bounty, or seek guidance from the cosmic forces they believe govern their world. These ceremonies would be moments of deep spiritual connection, uniting the community in their shared existence. Legendary battles would be etched into the memory of these civilizations. Imagine two great fleets of warriors clashing in the dark abyss. Their trained mounts, giant leviathans of the deep, would charge at one another. The water would churn with the fury of their conflict. The silent darkness would be broken by flashes of light from their weapons and the shockwaves of their powerful blows. These were not just battles for territory, they were epic struggles for survival, for honor, and for the future of their kingdoms. The stories of these great wars would be passed down through generations, becoming legends sung by poets and recorded by scholars. Daily life, however, would be more than just battles and rituals. There would be families, artists, and engineers. Children would play in underwater parks, their games adapted to a three-dimensional world of water. Artists would create sculptures from coral and paint with light-producing bacteria. Engineers would design and maintain the city's complex systems, from the water currents to the light sources. It would be a society as rich and varied as any on Earth, a testament to the incredible adaptability of intelligent life. It would be a civilization that had mastered its unique and challenging world. To understand a civilization, we must look to its past. In the quiet halls of a Hycean library, an old map might lie upon a stone table. It would not show continents and oceans as we know them. Instead, it would chart the vast three-dimensional world of the sea. It would show the great ocean currents as highways. It would mark the locations of treacherous underwater volcanoes and safe, hidden valleys. The map would be a story in itself. It would tell of epic voyages into uncharted waters, of the discovery of new resources, and of the expansion of ancient kingdoms. It would be a guide to their world, created through centuries of exploration. The history of these people would be filled with moments of great emotion and symbolic meaning. A coronation, for example, would be a powerful event. A new ruler might have to journey to the deepest, most dangerous trench in their kingdom. There, they would have to retrieve a sacred object, perhaps a glowing crystal that formed under immense pressure. This act would prove their courage and their right to rule. It would connect them to the very heart of their world. The return of the new monarch, holding the crystal aloft, would be a moment of great celebration and hope for the entire kingdom. Their relationship with the planet would be deeply intertwined with their culture and survival. They would learn to predict the planet's powerful storms. They would build their cities in sheltered underwater canyons to protect them from destructive currents. They would understand the cycles of the giant sea creatures they hunted or domesticated. This deep connection to their environment would be reflected in their art, their music, and their philosophy. They would see themselves not as masters of the planet, but as part of it. They would be children of the ocean, living in harmony with its rhythms. Imagine a transition from this imagined past to our present. As we look at an old, etched tablet depicting a heroic battle, the image slowly fades. It is replaced by the faint, pixelated data streaming back from one of our space telescopes. The ancient drawing of a Hycean warrior becomes a blurry dot of light from a world many light years away. The heroic myths of another world become the scientific questions of our own. The echoes of their imagined history become a powerful motivation for our own search. We are looking for the real story, the true history of life beyond Earth. The discovery of Hycean worlds has changed everything. It has given us a new and exciting place to look for life. These planets challenge our old ideas about where life can exist. They show us that the conditions for life might be more common in the universe than we ever dared to hope. The possibility that we are not alone feels more real than ever before. Every new piece of data we gather from these distant worlds is a step closer to answering that profound question. The search is no longer a matter of science fiction. It is a real and active scientific quest. The wonder of these worlds lies in their immense potential. They are not just barren rocks or balls of gas. They are dynamic environments with oceans, atmospheres, and sources of energy. They have all the necessary ingredients for life to begin. And if life can begin, what is to stop it from evolving? What is to stop it from becoming complex, diverse, and even intelligent? The thought of an entire biosphere, an entire ecosystem of alien life thriving in an ocean light years away, is humbling. It reminds us of our own small place in the cosmos. Our journey to explore these worlds has only just begun. With powerful new telescopes, we can now study the atmospheres of these planets. We can look for the chemical signatures of life, so-called biosignatures. The presence of certain gases, like oxygen or methane, could be a telltale sign of biological processes. Finding such a signal would be one of the most important discoveries in human history. It would be the first concrete evidence that life exists beyond Earth. It would open a new chapter in our understanding of the universe and our place within it. And so we continue to look up at the night sky with a renewed sense of wonder. Among the countless stars, there are hidden oceans. And in those oceans, there may be hidden kingdoms. The story of Hycean worlds fills us with hope. It is a reminder that the universe is a vast and mysterious place, full of incredible possibilities. Somewhere out there, in the deep, dark waters of a distant world, life may be waiting to be discovered. The search for this second Eden, this other garden of life, is the great adventure of our time. And it is an adventure that has only just started.